Hey guys, this is Frankie Day here for Frankie Day Models on YouTube. Long time no see, but I'm still back in the chair. Okay guys, this is video number 7. The final completion for the Sniffy Tiffy group build, sponsored and hosted by our beloved Mr. Martin Lammett. And this is my conclusion and my end of the build. And believe me guys, this has been one cumbersome build, I'll tell you that, to say the least. You know, it's I say I've had a lot of complicated builds before, you know, and this airplane's not complicated, it's just complex. And there's so much detail and so much options that can be done with this kit in general, because this kit actually is constructed just like the real machine. All the interior parts, and pretty sure it's all covered up with the skins. And there's some cases that make the building a lot more quicker and simpler. Is I've seen one build before where the guy whacked off the fuselage after the cockpit where the headrest is at, and no wings, except the wingtips and the undercarriage is where it sits on, and the whole detail, the lingeries, the engine, the cockpit assembly, everything. That's pretty good. That's another option that can be done with this thing too. So on the 124th line right here, it gives you a lot more options, and there's a lot more scales out there that are offered by different manufacturers, like Airfix, maybe Frog, I think, I don't know if they still Frog or Nova. Some they made one too. I know Monogram's made one 148 scale. They got Hasegawa's made one. They all made it. And RTEVEAL made a handsome 132nd scale one. And I built that one of those one time, and it got lost in the mail somehow. I don't know what happened to it. During the passage of time, it got either destroyed or lost, and maybe down below in the basement somewhere in one of those boxes, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff down there I haven't opened up about 20, 30 years, so I got stuff there I don't even know what I have. And so, this is a very beautiful kit by Airfix, and like all ends, I'm sad to see it come to an end, but you got other builds waiting in line. I got my Titanic, I'm going to be shaking pretty soon. I got to get hot on that, so I got a couple more builds I'll probably be posting, bringing on here too. That'll kind of keep me busy until we start Mr. Martin Lammett's 50th anniversary for the Hawker Harrier. I've already got me a 124 scale kit by Airfix. I sent away for one of those. I got that coming in. It's in the mail, due pretty soon. And I got that in eBay. I think I paid $67 for that kit. I went and tried to get it from Smitty's Hobby Shop, my favorite shop where I get it. So they don't make it no more. I don't know if that's true or not, but they probably do. I think what it is just more or less his salesman, the guy, the Hynix Stevens International, the warehouse of the people that more or less send the models out to all these hobby shops. They may not have it in stock. If I say they don't have it, but I fail to believe that, because I seen Hawker Harrier in a big shiny red box. So that tells me right there that Airfix is still being made. Just that this kit I'm getting here is probably an 80s kit, and it's 124 scale, brand new. It's all sealed. I believe I'll post a picture of it on Facebook. So I'll probably get that I would say probably Tuesday or Wednesday right after Christmas, and so it's on its way. So the build the Hawker Harrier build will probably start on the 1st of January, I believe, 2018. And Mr. Martin Lammett has another group build after that. All aircraft, English Royal Air Force aircraft from 1918 onward. So that means there's a lot of selection to choose from in the RAF variety. You can choose World War I, World War II, post-World War II, Korean War now, what's on the drawing board, whatever floats your bubble. And that'll be on that. That'll do it to it on the build. Okay, getting back to Hawker Hurricane. I left the side panels off because I want to detail the engine. I made it off so I can either put the panels back on and don't see the engine, but I took them off so you can reveal the engine. The bottom part of the cowling, it pops off. It snaps back on, snaps off. I made it so that you see the whole bottom of the engine. I try to show much of the engine I can, but by pulling out the bottom of that cowling right there. I'll show you as we go to the video, and it's movable. So there's a lot of removable accessories on this thing that show the interiors. Okay, enough said, enough done, and we're going to get back and take a look at the 1/24 scale Airfix Hawker Typhoon of the Sniffy Tiffy group build. And we're going to swing a little bit of hard to report, and we're going to take a look at this. And there she is sitting on Lady Susan. And we'll zoom in a little bit and have talk a little about this thing, and that'll be it. We'll get a little more. I like to keep the subject in focus. There we go. And yeah, as you can see, this thing is. I got the gun base all completely reviewed right there, as you can see. It's gun bays are open up. Port starboard wings is right here too, as you can see, and pilot fits in there quite well. I got George, the famous pilot, in there. He's in his Hawker Typhoon, ready to take off for a sortie, and this beautiful kit. The cockpit's optional. It can either be displayed closed or open. So I like it to be open. And I'm not too good figure painting. And Mr. Gilbert Mondragon, he does a wonderful job. This guy here, I tell you, I've never seen so much beautiful work in figure painting that this man has done. And I wish I had his skills in doing figures. My figure painting is pretty elementary, but I needed to have a crash course and start learning how to paint figures and make them a lot more realistic than what they appear. So Lord George right here, he's doing pretty good. He's very happy, man. He's in his behind the powerful Napier engine that the Hawker Typhoon incorporated. It's probably one of the biggest engines that ever was incorporated in a single engine airplane. And you got a lot of priming processes done to start the engine up, because a lot of these things are prone to catch fire. When they catch fire, you got to start it up and get full throttle to blow them out. And the propeller blade is like that of the Corsair. The Corsair had a propeller span of 13 feet. The Typhoon has a 14-inch prop. And I believe the horsepower in the Napier engine is probably at 2,500 horsepower, maybe more, I don't know. I think about 2,500 horsepower. Very powerful engine, very powerful. Much more powerful than the Chanspot Corsair, or the double corncob engines that they had, the Wasp engines that they had. And they say a lot of RAF pilots, when they're coming in for ditching like that, they say that the prop will, if they come in as a belly landing, sometimes the thing will plane flip over because the prop is turning. But one pilot found out the best way to do that is you're coming in for belly landing is just cut your engine until the engine completely stops. Then you've got a dead stick landing. You just come in for a normal glide and skid on your belly. Of course, the prop's going to bend back, but the engine's so powerful when the engine's turning, it grabs that ground and it throws the airplane over. So a lot of pilots that got killed these Typhoons is because when they come in for if something happens, if the undercarriage gets all shot up or something like that, and they got no hydraulic fluid to lower the landing gear, the guy comes in for belly landing, kills the engine, comes in on its belly. In other words, you got the prop spinning and coming in when the engine is still running. The centrifugal force of the propeller will grab the ground and flip the airplane over, killing the pilot. So one pilot found out the best way to do it is just kill the engine and just come in and hit the ground. And of course the blades will bend back when they hit, but just get on down and let come to a rest and get out and hope it don't catch fire and blow up on you. Typhoon was a very powerful, potent airplane. It is. I know one thing, guys. I sure want to get in the way of this thing that's coming at me for a strafing run. If you're in a tank or any armored vehicle and have one of these tank busters come at you with these 20mm cannons got it on its wings, you don't have a chance in hell to live. You're gone. You're finished. And this is a very potent airplane, a very fast airplane. A lot of pilots in the RAF, when it came out, this is a successor to the Tempest. A lot of them were very skittish about flying this machine because of the big engine this thing had. Now, what makes this Typhoon so unique, which I selected the model, is part of the decal options that they give you in the kit. Now, I like that big old shark mouth right there. Everybody likes that big old shark mouth. Makes this thing look mean and lean and fighting machine. And let's know this thing is an airplane to reckon with. And the paints used in this thing is all Umbro. Umbro paints are a lot more different than they are now, formula-wise, opposed to back in the 60s and 70s. Because in the 60s and 70s, they were almost like they were pigment, yes. Because one thing I like about Umbro paints, they're a pigment paint. Those little tins, I kid you not, guys, you guys know as well as I do, a tin of paint can go a long, long ways. I can actually airbrush three or four of these airplanes on one tin of each color selected. And so you just got to keep adding thinner to it, mineral spirits. I add turpentine. Turpentine is a good mineral spirit to use on Umbro paints because it's pretty well acceptable, and it's like a dryer too in a way, because a lot of these Umbro paints I found out you can actually brush paint using Umbro paints without you leaving any brush marks. So if you got a really good quality paint, it can go on without brush marks. I'll give you an example. I got lazy and I said I need to finish this bad boy. I went ahead and painted that spinner with a brush. I thinned it down with turpentine. One coat did it, boys. One coat. No brush marks at all. I was really amazed and very happy. So you get some good paint, you can do some good results with brush. So once in a while, the paintbrush is very permissible to use on model building. And a lot of modelers just go ahead and use paintbrushes, like Rob's modeling. This gentleman does a very exceptional job. So is Panzerman's Bill, Panzerman's Bunker. This gentleman does a very fine job by using a paintbrush. There's guys out there who can make a paintbrush look like an airbrush. I had a buddy of mine one time painted a Spitfire one time. I think it was an old monogram Spitfire. It was 1962 release when it first came out. And he's very, very good with his brush. And I learned how to do camouflage by using a paintbrush that gives the same results as that if it's being airbrushed. Because I watched him one time. This guy was a professional. This guy was very good. And I watched him one time, and after painting the color, the base color, for example, on this one, it calls for ocean gray, dark ocean gray, along with olive drab on top, or dark green. And he'll go ahead and apply the ocean gray first. Then, as he does the camouflage with the green, he makes a masking using tape. But when he adds the green, he don't dip the paintbrush into the paint and stir around and start painting. What he'll do, he'll dip it with paintbrush and dab it to the sides and wipe it off on a towel, and he'll dry brush that green on there. When you pull off that masking, it looks like it's been airbrushed. It's really amazing when you do the paintbrush. There's all kinds of tricks and trades to do with paintbrushes. I kid you not, those guys out there with a paintbrush, you can swear they use airbrushes, but it's nope, I use paintbrush. And there's tricks everything. Everything in life, guys, is a trick to make your job easier. And to do camo work, that's a pretty good tip too. So right now I use airbrushes like everybody else does. This thing was painted with my brand new. I had this airbrush for maybe about a couple of years. Come on, Frank, put this so they can see it. It's Iwata. This is the Eclipse, a very good airbrush. I think I paid $135 I paid for this. I bought this down at the Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, but down Hobbytown, USA, Hobby Shop. Because down Smithy's down, they have plaqués, and I've been watching a lot of guys on videos, and they say that these airbrushes are very good, and they are. What I like about this, it supersedes the old plaqué. You gotta take the color cup out, clean it out real good, ream the goddamn thing out, let it soak for a while, put it away, clean the whole airbrush. This here is all done inside this bowl here. You can actually take this and add one color, like a dark gray. When it's all done, rinse it out your reservoir, put it in your olive drab, test it on your piece of paper or a cloth or something that olive drab goes through. You're good, but see, you can actually paint. Like, only time you clean up this bowl is when you change colors or when you put the brush away. So after I clean up this brush, I'll put a little acetone in there. That cleans out everything like that, and I wipe it really good, and I put it back in the box where this goes at. And that's why you're taking care of your equipment, so you make models like this look good. So, it was painted with that, and I'm very happy with the results. I like that airbrush. From now on, I'm going to retire the old Pache, and I'm going to start using my Iwata airbrush, and the models will go on as I paint with it. Okay, guys, this is the conclusion of my mighty Sniffy Tiffy group build, hosted by Mr. Martin Lammett. Mr. Martin Lammett should have his coming up real soon, or maybe not, maybe now, or maybe he's already done. But him and I are pretty much even keel right now. I finished mine, so I surmise he probably finished his too. And so I look forward for his postings on Facebook, fellas. I already made posting pictures of this already on Facebook. So go to Facebook, the Sniffy Tiffy group build page, and you'll see outside pictures. I took this thing outside for natural sun. It comes out brilliant. I really enjoyed those pictures outside. God bless us with a nice sunny day, as you can see outside. If I can focus this camera. Where the hell am I? I'm getting off track here, boys. There it is. Outside, out my window. You can see how nice it is out there. It's getting kind of dusk out here a little bit because it's getting late. It's getting about 3:30. So it gets kind of dark out here in Ohio a little bit, but it's a very nice day. And this was a nice, enjoyable build. I'm very sad and sorry. I feel really, not sorry, but very, very sad that this came to an end and it's done. I made a special wooden box of this. I'm going to put this here airplane in the wooden box and close up the lid and take it down below, and don't worry about it, because something like this you do not want to be laying around. This is a big airplane, like all 1/24 scale models, fellas. All it takes a little clumsiness by slapping the wing or something, and whammo, all your work is right down the toilet, gone. And you'll be crying the blues for a long, long time and hating yourself and pulling air out in the process. So get this thing out of harm's way, get it out of the way. When you get done, you're going to display it, put it on the shelf. Make sure the wingtip ain't hanging out. It deserves a special room. This is a big plane. Same thing with the 1/24 scale Hawker Hurricane, Spitfire. All these 1/24 scale jobs are big airplanes. And believe you me, guys, take it from Frankie Day. The bigger they are, the clumsier you'll get. Because somehow you ain't going to be paying attention. You're going to grab something, hit this wing, and knock it over, and this plane's going to be busted. And you got over $100 airplane ruined. So you want to go there, boys. Okay, we're going to spin the camera back to yours shortly, finish up this vid, and I'll discuss what I'll be doing. Okay, here I is, boys. Johnny on the spot. Okay. Nice more cigars running low. I've been toying around with this Aurora SE5, and I got the struts on there. I got a jig, put it on the wing here I made. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this and finish this up. This is 1/48 scale Aurora SE5A, and I'm going to finish that up. And I got a nice little board here. I'm going to put some adhesive right there and sprinkle some grass on it. I'm going to try my art of my way of doing make a nice little scenery, a nice little grass out there. I got all kinds of grass and stuff that I could use, and a railroad scenery material I can use. Put a baseboard, lay my SE5 on there, and because these down Hobby Lobby, these things are as cheap as candy bars. I think I paid $2 that piece of wood. It's already finished. These make good little bases for 1/72 scale. or small little 148 48 scale.